All the outrage, the question is, what does Israel do now? Here now is the Consul General of Israel in New York. He's Ambassador Ido Aharoni. Ambassador, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me, Michelle.
What are Israel's options right now? Are we at a moment where we might actually see Israel defy the United States?
Well, I think that ultimately it's clear that in the conversation about Iran, Israel and the United States are clearly on the same side. We both agree that the issue at hand is the prevention of Iran's nuclear program rather than its containment. So at the end of the day, Israel and the United States have worked closely, will continue to work closely on this issue together with the international community. We do have our opinion about the interim agreement that was signed 4 days ago. We think that this agreement is insufficient simply because of the fact it does not address the core issue of Iran's motivation of the very nature of this regime. I think it would be appropriate to compare this to a situation where you take a pyromaniac and you limit his or her access to fire by 80%, but they can still inflict major harm with the remainder 20%. And hopefully the permanent agreement that will be negotiated soon will deprive Iran of the remainder 20%.
Sir, I'm not sure I agree with you when you say that both Israel and the U.S. are on the same page in terms of prevention. I mean, I very much get the sense from this administration that they're thinking about containment.
Well, here's the difference. We believe that preventing Iran from making one bomb or enriching enough uranium to produce one bomb is not enough. We believe that what needs to be done is for the entire international community to recognize that the problem is the very capability of Iran to enrich uranium, albeit at a lower level. This is what the interim agreement does. The interim agreement is allowing Iran, by the way, something that the international community did not allow Iran, is allowing Iran to enrich uranium at a lower level. We believe that the problem is not whether Iran will have enough uranium to produce one bomb. The problem is the very capability, the very technology that allows them to enrich uranium. It doesn't matter which level.
See, I think you're actually making my point, but okay, let's move on. I want to ask you something else. We know that President Obama and Prime Minister Netanyahu spoke on the phone on Sunday. The president said the U.S. and Israel will stay in close contact on the issue. But here's what Israel had to say about the phone call. There was a member of the Likud party who was on TV in Israel, and he said, quote, "The Prime Minister made it clear to the most powerful man on earth that if he intends to stay the most powerful man on earth, it is important to make a change in American policy because the practical result of the current policy is liable to lead him to the same failure that the Americans absorbed in North Korea and Pakistan, and Iran could be next." Mr. Ambassador, did Netanyahu really talk to Obama that way?
Well, I don't know. I was not on that call. I can tell you one thing that the Prime Minister said. The Prime Minister said two things that are very, very important for me to convey here tonight. The first is that the very idea of having the world's most dangerous regime having access to the world's most dangerous weapon is a bad idea. The second thing that he said is that between friends, it's not only important, it becomes essential to speak freely and openly and candidly, and if we think that a mistake is being done, it is our duty, sometimes an unpleasant duty, but it is our duty to make it known and, of course, to convey our message. Now, it's important to understand that at the end of the day, although we are geographically located at the very heart of the region, at the end of the day, Iran is not just Israel's problem. Iran poses a threat to the entire international community. It's the only country in the whole world that is actively destabilizing regimes all over the world.
Which brings me to my next question. We've got this map up. Are you really going to do deals with Saudi Arabia? I mean, when I hear this possibility, I feel like the tectonic plates of the world are shifting.
Well, there's no question that Iran today poses the #1 existential threat to the state of Israel, but not just to the state of Israel. There's a whole system of countries that are extremely concerned with Iran's nuclear aspirations, and therefore our position is we need to take the entire machine away, dismantle the technology that allows them to enrich uranium. That's what we need to do as a community.
And that sounds like a yes when it comes to the situation with Saudi Arabia.
Well, I can tell you it's too early in the game. I can tell you that we believe that ultimately the international community should judge the Iranians by their actions and not only by their words. We will know within the next 6 months whether this Iranian regime is serious about changing its very nature, because that is the real question at hand.
That's
it's not about
true.
one bomb. It's about the very nature of this regime. What is it that they stand for?
Mr. Ambassador, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right. That's it for tonight's show. Thanks so much for watching.